If you can believe it, somebody thought all of this was a good idea. Well, we managed to this and along the way churn out a few general deck building tips we hope you find helpful. Here we go. Train wreck deck.
Oh, fun! It's 2 layers. One of lattice, the other of chicken wire. I'm uncomfortable getting inside the guy's head who built this. This is a solution without a problem.
Okay. I find lots of stuff under decks, but auto parts, especially vintage, well, a lot of firsts on this puppy. See that thing hanging out of the back of my saw? Yeah, that's called a cord. This is hard enough as it is, and equally unpleasant. I don't want to be fussing with batteries, having to get up and down the roof. As for favorite demo tool, add 2x4 as battering ram. Once inside, I'll resip all the trusses and use a face shield to keep the dust off my skin. Then we pull everything carefully apart, such that it doesn't fall on our heads and we don't get punctured with any nails. Kind of handy to remain unpunctured. The basic gist on this demo job is that we're going to section up the wall panels using the reciprocating saw. Keep in mind that at the top plate and at the bottom plate, you're cutting through a whole bunch of 2x, but in the middle, it's just T111. A few adjustments, and... Wall's next. Back wall. Get out of here! Come on, baby! And we're on to the deck. I wish we got a longer clip of this to pay justice to my favorite deck demolition tool, the Nestor Bar's 48-inch leverage tool. Great for decks, other stuff too. Look at those super sweet 2x4 joists. I'm standing on it right now too. You'll also notice the universal language for, oh no, I made the joists too shallow and the deck is bouncy beam. And while I love my cordless inline saws, they're more inline than rear handle, which the corded worm drive is. To allow the saw to drop through the work, I really need to be behind it. And the old school front heavy wormy, cord and all, gets me where I'm going. Now it's time to get rid of beam number 1. My forensic carpentry tells me this one was planned. As you can see in back, the one's just set on blocks. Go past that mending plate to put those pieces together. Then we'll grab the angle grinder, tackle these brackets. This is a double whammy in here. Got to use the recip saw to get in. Then we'll get back to the grinder. I really do like angle grinders, probably more than I should. As far as I'm concerned, that's a face shield mandatory tool. And all of a sudden, we're back to bare ground, and it's time for new wood. Ban joist. Couple of screws up high in the ban joist so it can hinge. Go to the end, plop it on a temporary post, get it nice and level. I like to cheat to the high side of the line, and we're ready to go. To get the ban joist 90 degrees to the ledger, I do a 3-4-5 triangle, make some adjustments, get that nice and tight, 2 screws in each piece of strapping, and repeat on the other side.
At this point in the framing layout, I'm thinking all the way ahead to our picture frame deck board's decking overhang. I know I'm going to have 16 footers for my picture frame. So what I want to do now, is make 16 foot, which is my overall depth from the house. I want to subtract 1.5 inches for the overhang, 1.5, and then I want to subtract 1.5 inches for the outside ban joist. That brings me to 189. I'll cut those right here in place. With the information layout has given me up to this point, I'm now able to locate and lay out the beam location, more specifically the center of my post holes, so I can excavate them. I know I'm square, I know I'm straight, I know I'm parallel, I know I'm the same distance here as there. Now I can take a string, run it across here, and I'll know exactly where to dig my post holes. I'm going to use a trucker's hitch here. And since that is a very powerful knot, I'll snug it up, but just enough to keep the string straight.
For more detail on this, check out our knot tying video.
Oh yay, I get to dig holes. I want to dig them with a shovel.
To mark the exact hole location of my post hole, I drop little plumb lines, jab some Spax power lags in the ground, flange with some brightly colored tape so I can find them. Oh yay, backbreaking labor.
Several things all bumping into each other all at once, proving a happy accident and some improvements to my process that I wanted to share with you. I'll try to do it under a minute. 1, we have a critter wall. Most of my decks get them. They look good. They inhibit critters. 2, we've got gravel. The gravel keeps the deck from standing water and mud underneath it after it's built, and it also inhibits diggers like groundhogs. 3, the critter wall layout has served as a super awesome stable brace for the outboard deck post. 4, because I use post protectors, I put most of the dirt I dig out of the hole back in the hole. 5, there was a 1/4-inch sheet of plywood here, and it is 1,000 times easier than digging dirt off grass.
Easy. Not easy.
6, I love this jacket. 7, I'm out of here. Hopefully I did that in a minute. Bye. I've got a couple of really good takes of me doing this. Excuse me. I can hear my blood coursing through my veins with these. I like them. I can wear them all day, but holy Toledo. Okay. I've got a couple of really good takes of me doing this extremely wrong. Fortunately, wrong in my favor. The only thing that got wasted here was a little bit of time and a lesson learned. The key transition here is bottom of ban joist equals top of post. And I cut them exact because I need to then cut to beam depth, which is this dimension right here. A tool thing. I love my cordless tools, and I use them all over the place, as you can see, but it's an awkward line of sight. I have 1,000 batteries over there charging, so I went to Old Faithful on this one, because as I'm down here, I can see through this saw body, so sometimes old school was just fine. Last thing, in this particular case, it is very easy to not be able to really see what your pencil is doing under the square and screw this measurement up by 1/4 inch or even more. So, as unpleasant as it is sometimes, especially when it's muddy, really get in there and make sure that mark is right. Now, panic attack avoided, I'm going to cut this. All or nothing, baby. Bottom of joist, top of post, 11.5. Here we go.
Now I'll make shoulder cuts on all the posts. I like to cut across the top as well as the sides and the face. I'll finish up with the recip saw, and these get through bolts, so I use the ship auger bit of awesomeness to plow those holes. Up and down pattern for the beam, nail that off.
One of the numerous reasons for using screws in these applications here, like my temporary posts, is A, they come apart easily, B, they stay where I put them, and C, I get the fastener back.
There are a million little blocks if you're doing picture framing. Alternatively, you can lay a 2x6 or a 2x8 flat and pick up all your voids. I like to cut all my joists in place. Hello, inline saw. I'd sooner dig extra post holes than walk all over these blocks and squish them into the mud. So I clean them up, put them in my trash bag. I have a spot to the side where I organize my trash. And what? I don't even have to look for a new trash bag. I take that out, put it in, I'm ready to rock and roll. Trash bag wisdom from the kid.
Still recording.
Gripping video.
Here's an idea, not mine, and sadly, I can't credit who I got this from. It was online somewhere, and I didn't catch whose it was, so I apologize in advance. But your idea is fantastic. So, to get an even split on the left portion of the front band and the right portion of the front band, put a block in between the joists that are right of center and left of center, fasten that in here, and then fasten your band joist to it, even Steven. Start a few screws, and in she goes. Rinse and repeat. And fasten off with number 10x3.
Pop-up tool review. Teresa is using the Flex Compact cordless impact driver. It's smaller than the mainframe tool, but still big enough for a project like this. We both like it. We butt all our deck boards tight so they can shrink evenly as they dry out. You can see the chisel trick here. We sometimes set bulk screws to save our wrists and drive them in all at once. And that's it for this deck. We have officially untrain wrecked this puppy. As you can see, we added a surface mount cable railing system we love. That's in another video on our YouTube channel. We hope this video was helpful to you and your deck building projects. We'll see you on the next one.